children. Are you ready to look at the picture book? I wonder what we shall have today. Oh, hello, Sausage. What a splendid coat you have on. Is it new? But why do you wear it indoors?
It doesn't look pretty.
And it does look very pretty, Sausage. Now, you sit still and be good, because we're going to look at the picture book. Oh, this is the page that shows me how to make something, and it's paper lanterns. I have the things to make paper lanterns here. Piece of pretty wallpaper, glue, pencil, and of course, a pair of scissors. The paper must be the right shape. It must be an oblong, like this. Oh, but I'm going to need a ruler in a minute, and I haven't got a ruler.
Fetch ruler, fetch ruler.
Thank you very much, Sausage. Isn't he a useful little dog? He's going to fetch the ruler. Well, while we're waiting for him, we'll fold the paper over. I'm going to fold it so that this long edge here touches this long edge here. Like this. Fold it in two. Press it over with my fingers so that there's a crease. Oh, thank you, Sausage. Like that. It's a good dog. Thank you very much. Sausage, whatever's the matter?
Lab coat.
Oh, yes, I know you've got a new coat, and it's very pretty indeed. Oh, it is. Now, you be quiet, because look, you'll get glue all over your new coat if you're not very careful. So now we've got the ruler, we'll draw a straight line near the top edge. Not this folded edge here, but this open edge. Put the ruler on the paper and draw a straight line along the top of it with the pencil. Like that. Now with the scissors, I'm going to cut slits up to the pencil line. Straight cut. And there's one slit. And there's another. And another slit up to the pencil line. Now you would go on cutting those slits all along the paper. But there isn't time for me to do that, so I have paper here already cut with all the slits. And look, this is what it looks like. Something like a comb, isn't it? Or a little girl's fringe. Next thing I do is to open the paper out, like this. Unfold it. I must do this very carefully because I don't want to tear it. Here. Open it out. And now it's flat. Now I'm going to stick this corner on top of this corner here. So with the glue, I put a little blob there, a little blob of glue on that corner like that. And press the two corners together with my fingers. There we are. And now I do the same thing at the other end. A little blob of glue and press the two corners together, pressing them hard together with my fingers. It may take a little while for the glue to dry. There we are. You could use sticky tape to stick these corners together if you liked. And there. It's beginning to look like a lantern, isn't it? But there's one more thing to go on it, isn't there? And that's a handle. And here's a strip of paper already cut to be the handle. I'm going to pin this on because the glue would take a little while to dry. So I'll pin it on this side first. You pin yours. Be very careful you don't stick the pin in your finger, won't you? Perhaps you could ask somebody to help you to do this part. That's one side. And now we'll do the other side of the handle. Pin it on. There we are. There's a pretty little lantern. I have some more here. Look, here's a tiny baby lantern. Do you like that one? Look, Sausage. Ooh. Stand it up on its end, like that. Sausage, I think Sausage thinks it's a toy, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
I think I better put it over here. There we are. And here's a lovely big one made with very pretty wallpaper. There. But you could do them in plain paper or just coloured paper. There. Do you think you could make a paper lantern like that? Perhaps next time when it rains and you can't go out, you could try to make one. Now we'll have a look at the next page. Oh, this is a picture of a little girl. Do you know what her name is? I'm going to call her Busy Lizzie.
If you haven't seen Busy Lizzie before, you won't know that that big flower on her frock is a wishing flower. She has only to touch it and wish for something, and hey presto, there it is. She can wish for 1, 2, 3, even 4 things at a time, but not 5. If she forgets and wishes for more than 4 things, everything flies away. Do you see that Busy Lizzie has straight, wispy hair? She doesn't like it, and one day she tried to change it. She touched that very special flower and said, "I wish I had long, lovely, curly hair." Well, what do you think of that? Then, of course, she wanted to see what she looked like. So once more she touched the flower and said, "I wish I had a little looking glass." But although Busy Lizzie liked her new curls, she thought they weren't nearly long enough. So once more she touched her flower and said, "I wish my curls to grow longer and longer." That was a silly thing to wish. The curls grew and grew and grew. First they reached her knees, and then her feet, and then began to pile up behind her. Now, all that hair was very heavy, so she had to wish for something else. And what do you think it was? She wished for a cart to carry her curls. Well, at first she was very pleased. She walked along, pulling her curls behind her, but they were still very heavy. Besides, they went on growing. When Busy Lizzie found that she could hardly pull the cart along, she called out, "I wish my curls would stop growing." But look what happened. There she is, exactly the same as she was before, wispy hair and all. And do you know why? Because she had wished for more than 4 things at once. Did you count?
Isn't she funny? I like little girls with wispy hair. Shall we turn over? It's a picture of little chicks, all fluffy and soft. Look at their bright little eyes. You just look at them for a moment while I fetch something very exciting. Chicks like eating grain. I'll see if they'll have some. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Come on. I wonder if they'll have some water to drink. Here. Come on, you try the water. There. They're such a pretty yellow colour. No, they don't want any water. Let's try some more grain over here. Come on. You have some. Can you hear the noise they're making? Oh, look, he's having a lovely drink. Yes, are you drinking? Aren't they pretty? I think I better look at the next page in the picture book before I put them away, don't you? Oh, yes. It's another story about the Jolly Jack Tars.
But where are they? This is the island they saw last time. And there's their ship, look. What funny-looking trees. That big one looks like a bottle with a feather duster sticking out of the top.
Oh, I must have a rest. Ah, I'll sit down here. Oh, that's better. Oh, dear me, yes. Oh. Oh, dear. Oh, it's so hot, and we seem to have walked for miles. And just sit down by the captain. Ah.
I'm so tired.
Poor things, they do look hot. I hope they won't be disappointed when they wake up, because I don't think this is the Talking Horse Island. It looks to me as if it might be called Bottle Island.
Whatever was that? It sounded like a bell. But where did it come from?
Where did what come from?
Didn't you hear a noise?
No, did you?
Perhaps we were dreaming. Perhaps we were. Oh, we weren't dreaming. Oh, it's Ticky banging that tree. Oh, listen, Mr. Mate. Oh, I'll try another tree. Oh, let's play a tune. Me first. Oh, no, me first, because I'm the captain. Well, that was very nice, but I think it's time we were getting back to the ship. Oh, come along, Jonathan. Wake up. We're going.
Oh, I dreamt I was in a funny place where all the trees were like bottles. Why, so they are. Ticky, look, trees like bottles. But in my dream they all made noises. Oh!
Ticky, Jonathan.
Coming, Captain.
What a funny place. Bottle Island. I'm glad we saw it, even if it wasn't the one with the talking horse.
I wonder where they'll be next time. Is that your sausage? No, I haven't forgotten it this time. It's that mustard and cress. Sausage, you've been eating it. Oh, sausage, now look, you'll be dropping it all over the place. Take it away this minute. Sausage, you're a very naughty little dog. Go on, you take it away. Off you go. Look, here it is. He hasn't taken very much of it, really, has he? But then he's not very big yet. Perhaps we'll have some for our tea. Have you grown any mustard and cress yet? It's time to put the picture book away now. Goodbye. Until next time.
Andy Pandy's coming to play, la 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 la. Andy Pandy's here today, la 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 la.
Andy Pandy's somewhere in the garden today. Let's go and find him, shall we? There he is, on his swing. Hello, Andy Pandy. Oh, look, children. He's waving with his feet. That's because he's holding on so tightly with his hands. Do you remember his swing, children? Some of you have seen it before, haven't you? Andy likes swinging, don't you? Have you got a swing in your garden? I expect some of you have. Andy Pandy, show the children how high you can go.
Swinging high and swinging low, Andy Pandy goes to and fro. Swinging low and swinging high, Andy Pandy flies up to the sky. La 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 la. La 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 la. Swinging high and swinging low, sometimes fast and then quite slow.
Here comes Teddy. Hello, Teddy. Look, Teddy's waving with his feet because Andy Pandy did. Oh, don't do that, Andy. You'll make yourself giddy. And you're making Teddy giddy, too. Teddy, Andy's been swinging very high, but he'd love to have someone to push him so he can go much higher. Do you think you could give him a good push? There he goes. Oh, never mind, Teddy, you're all right. You give him another push. Teddy, do you want to swing now? You'd rather go on pushing? All right.
Swinging high and swinging low, Andy Pandy goes to and fro. Swinging low and swinging high, Andy Pandy flies up to the sky. La 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 la. La 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 la. Swinging high and swinging low, sometimes fast and then quite slow.
Children, didn't he go high? Oh, Teddy's tired of pushing. He wants to do something else. What are you doing, Teddy? I can't think what he's doing. Can you guess, children? Is it something you want to play, Teddy? Is it the marching song? Is it another song? Is it a rhyme? Anything to do with walking? Anything to do with a teddy bear? I know. It's walking round the garden like a teddy bear. Come along, Teddy. Ready? Walking round the garden like a teddy bear. 1 step, 2 step, jumping in the air. Let's play that again. Children, are you going to say it too? Ready? Walking round the garden like a teddy bear. 1 step, 2 step, jumping in the air. Shall we go fast this time? Ready? Walking round the garden like a teddy bear. 1 step, 2 step, jumping in the air. Andy Pandy, come and see what Teddy's doing. Let's show him, Teddy. Ready? Walking round the garden like a teddy bear. 1 step, 2 step, jumping in the air. You're going to play too, Andy Pandy? And what about you, children? Come along. Ready? Walking round the garden like a teddy bear. 1 step, 2 step, jumping in the air. Walking round the garden like a teddy bear. 1 step, 2 step, jumping in the air. Walking round the garden like a teddy bear. 1 step, 2 step, jumping in the air. Jumping in the air. Jumping in the air. Jumping in the air. Oh, I should think so. You must be tired. There they are, whispering to each other. I think Andy Pandy must have something to show Teddy. Over there, look. It's a pram. And can you see who's in it? It's Looby Loo. That's right, Andy Pandy. Wheel it along. It is a nice pram. Is it Looby Loo's very own? Careful, Andy. Don't tip her out. Poor Looby Loo. I wonder if she likes it. Oh, she does. Is it heavy to push? There she goes, up and down. I'm rather surprised that Teddy doesn't want to get in too. I thought he would. Teddy, it's really Looby Loo's pram. Don't squash her, will you? Too heavy, Andy Pandy? No more, Teddy. It's too heavy. No, Teddy. It's too heavy for Andy Pandy to push. Are you coming out now? Hurry up. That's right, Andy Pandy. Make her comfortable. Has she got enough pillows? Has she got everything she wants? No? I expect they've thought of something and they've gone off to get it. I wonder what they'll bring her. Let's go back to the pram and see Looby Loo again. Children, I wonder if she'll play with us. Sometimes she does when Andy Pandy and Teddy aren't there. Looby Loo, hurry up. They'll be back soon. You call her, children. Hello, Looby Loo. Are you waving to her, children? She is sleepy. It's so nice in the pram she doesn't want to get out. Look at her snuggling down. Aren't you going to get out at all, Looby Loo? Children, perhaps she will if I play her song.
Here we go, Looby-Loo. Here we go, Looby-Light. Here we go, Looby-Loo. All on a Saturday night.
Children, do you remember what comes next? Put your right foot in.
Put your right foot in. Put your right foot out. Shake it a little, and turn yourself about. Here we go, Looby-Loo. Here we go, Looby-Light. Here we go, Looby-Loo. All on a Saturday night.
Let's do it again with the other foot.
Put your left foot in. Put your left foot out. Shake it a little, and turn yourself about. Here we go, Looby-Loo. Here we go, Looby-Light. Here we go, Looby-Loo. All on a Saturday night.
Looby-Loo, I think Andy, Pandy and Teddy are coming back. Hurry. In you go. Back into the pram. That's right. Here they are, back again. And that's what they went to fetch. A lovely rug to cover Looby-Loo. She will be warm and cozy. Children, shall we sing her to sleep now?
Bye, baby bunting. Daddy's gone a-hunting to get a little rabbit skin to wrap the baby bunting in. Bye, baby bunting.
Has she gone to sleep, Andy Pandy? And whatever's happened to Teddy? He's gone to sleep too. Or is he only pretending? Wake up, Teddy. It's time to go home. Come along. What a sleepy little bear. Into your basket now. Time to go home, Andy Pandy.
Time to go home, time to go home. La 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 la. Time to go home, time to go home. And he's waving goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Andy Pandy's going home now, but he's coming again soon. Goodbye, children. Goodbye.
Time to go home, time to go home. La 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 la. Time to go home, time to go home. And he is waving goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Bill and Ben, Bill and Ben, Bill and Ben, Bill and Ben, flower pot men, flower pot men, flower pot men, Bill and Ben, Bill and Ben, flower pot men.
Once upon a time, there was a little house. And all round the house was a beautiful garden. And down at the bottom of the garden was a place where the man who worked in the garden left his things while he went into the house to have his dinner. One day, when he'd gone into the house to have his dinner, he left behind an old glue pot, some seed boxes, and some packets of seeds. There were other things lying about, some flower pots, 2 little ones, 2 middle-sized ones, and 2 great big ones. And just behind the big flower pots was a little weed. And there they all were, lying quietly in the sunshine. The little weed looked all about her, and when she saw that everything was quiet, she knocked gently on the 2 big flower pots and said, "Weed! Weed!" And slowly, out of the flower pots came the flower pot men. First, out came their little faces, smiling all over. Then their little hands with big garden gloves on. They both turned round and saw each other. Then they said hello to the little weed in their flower pot way of talking. And the little weed laughed and said, "Weed, weed." And the flower pot men thought she meant that someone was coming. So they popped down into their flower pots again. And all was quiet and drowsy in the sunshine. And the little weed stayed in between the flower pots and said nothing. After a time, one of the flower pot men thought, surely there's nobody about. And he popped his head up for a minute to have a look round. Then the other flower pot man thought, surely there's no one about. And he popped his head up to have a look round. And they went on like this for quite a long time. Then both together. Do you know what all that meant? There's nobody about, so let's get out and play. Now, the man who works in the garden had been putting seeds in little seed boxes. And the 2 flower pot men went over to have a look. So they leaned over to see if the seeds were coming up. They weren't. They were all fast asleep in their little seed beds. One of the flower pot men said, "Are they coming up your end?" So the other flower pot man said, "How can we make the seeds come up?" Then they thought of all sorts of things they could do to make the seeds come up. And some of them were rather silly. And look, those funny little flower pot men began running all round the seed boxes to see if that would make the seeds come up. But the seeds didn't come up. So they sat down and did some more thinking. Then one of them had a good idea. He said, "Let's try hopping round on one leg." But still the seeds didn't come up. So the flower pot men leaned on the edge of the seed box and wondered what they could do next. Now, the little weed in between the two big flower pots had been watching what the flower pot men were doing, and she thought of something to help them. She flapped her leaves and called out. So the two flower pot men hurried over to see what she wanted. Then she leaned over and whispered something. And what she said was, "Water. The seeds won't come up without water." So they looked everywhere for some water. Suddenly, they saw the old glue pot. They looked inside, and what do you think? At the bottom of the glue pot was some rainwater. So they picked up the glue pot very carefully and carried it over to the seed boxes and poured some water on the seeds. And then they waited, quiet as two little mice. At first they heard nothing at all. Then they heard a tiny little noise, as though the seeds were saying, shall we come up or shan't we? Then they heard a tiny rustling and bustling, and then up popped the flowers all together. And the flower pot men started dancing and singing.
Oh, lubba, lubba, flower. Lubba, flower. Whoa.
The flowers have come. Isn't it fun? Look what the beautiful seeds have done.
A flower has come from the pond.
The flower pot men stopped for a minute to get their breath. But the flowers went on dancing. And do you know what they were saying?
No man who digs a garden thinks we're flowers need, but we are popping up and down because we're only weeds, because we're only weeds.
Oh, well, because we're only weeds.
Oh, we are lovers, because we're only weeds, because we're only weeds.
And the little flowers were laughing so much that they were quite tired. So they sank back into their little beds to have a rest. But while one flower pot man sat there laughing, the other one crept away because he had thought of something rather naughty. And all this while the little weed was watching. She had seen which one of the flower pot men had tipped the water over the other. Now, you listen, because she's going to ask a question.
Was it Bill or was it Ben? Tipped the water out just then. Which of those two flower pot men? Was it Bill or was it Ben?
Did you hear what the little weed said? Do you know who it was? Listen again.
Was it Bill or was it Ben? Tipped the water out just then. Which of those two flower pot men? Was it Bill or was it Ben?
Was it Ben? Or was it Bill? It was Bill. It was Bill. Bad little Bill.
Bad little Bill. Oh, let's go and talk to the weed.
Then the two flower pot men went over to speak to the flowers again and see how they were getting on.
Hello, little weed. Hello, buddy boy. Oh.
And they would have come right up, but the little weed thought she heard someone coming, so she called out to let them know that the man who worked in the garden had finished his dinner and was coming out again.
Hello.
So the two flower pot men jumped into their flower pots and said goodbye to each other.
Hello.
Then they said goodbye to the little weed.
Wobble, little weed. Wobble, wobble, wobble.
Wop, little weed. Wop, 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 wop.
The little weed stayed behind the flower pots and went fast asleep. And there they all were in the warm sunshine. But the man who worked in the garden didn't know that anything had happened at all. Nobody knew about the flower pot men. Only you saw them playing. And the little weed. And I think the little house knew something about it. Don't you?
Goodbye, Bill. Goodbye, Ben. Bill and Ben, Bill and Ben, flower pot men. Goodbye, Bill, goodbye, Ben. Bill and Ben, Bill and Ben, flower pot men.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little animals called Rag, Tag, and Bobtail. One day, Tag, the little mouse, came slowly along the path. He was carrying a twig. It came from a tree called a hazel tree, and it was rather special. He was just passing Rag's log when Rag, the hedgehog, came out. And Rag said, "Hello, Tag. What have you got?"
It's a hazel twig for finding water.
"How does it find water?" asked Rag.
It points down when you get near to some,
said Tag.
At least I think it does. I've never tried before.
"Can I try with you?"
Oh, yes. Come along.
So off they went along the path, with Tag holding the twig. After a while, Rag wanted to hold it. So Tag let him have it just for a moment. They were so busy changing over that they didn't see what was happening. The twig was pointing down, and that meant that there must be water somewhere near. They couldn't see any water, and they didn't find it until Tag put his paw right into a big, sticky mud puddle. His paw was black when it came out.
Oh, my goodness me,
said Tag.
There is some water here.
And your twig is pointing down, said Rag.
Then it does work. It does,
said Tag.
Let's go and find some more water.
It's your turn to hold the twig, said Rag. So Tag took it. As they went along the path, looking for water, Bobtail came out from behind Rag's log. He sniffed the air. It was a lovely warm day, and the sun was shining. "Ah," said Bobtail, "here come the babies. I'm glad they're out in the sun." The babies wanted Bobtail to play with them, but Bobtail wanted to go and eat some clover. "You play along the path," he said to the babies. "I'll be back soon." And he hopped off while the babies ran round looking for something to do. They played one of their favorite games, hiding behind leaves and peeping through the branches. They found lots of places to hide. They were so busy playing that they didn't see the big black puddle until one of them fell in with a big splash. And he called out,
"Ooh, ooh, come and play in the puddle. Come
in they all jumped. 1, 2, 3, 4, until all 5 baby rabbits were as happy as they could be, splashing each other with mud. Suddenly, one of them said, "Here comes Bobtail." And so they all hid in the mud for a moment. But Bobtail wasn't looking. All this time, he'd been sniffing about among the different patches of clover. He'd found some that he liked very much, and he went on eating until he couldn't eat any more. And then he thought to himself, perhaps I'd better see how the babies are getting on. And he looked along the path. He thought he saw some baby rabbits all playing together, but they didn't look like his. "They're black," he said. "Our baby rabbits aren't black." But when Bobtail came closer, he saw what the babies were doing. "Oh, my goodness," said Bobtail. "We'll never get them clean again." So he went away and sat down at the side of the path because he couldn't think what to do. Usually, when he wanted to think, he ate some clover. But he was so full he couldn't eat another leaf. He was still sitting there, wondering what to do, when Tag and Rag came back along the path with the hazel twig. They were still looking for water. "There might be some near the puddle," said Rag. "Hello, Bobtail," said Tag. "Hello." "What's the matter?" asked Tag. "The babies are playing in a mud puddle, and I don't know how I'll ever get them clean again," said Bobtail. "Wash them," said Rag. "I can't wash them in a dirty old mud puddle. That's all the water there is," said Bobtail. "We're looking for water with this twig," said Tag. "There might be some over there, Tag. I thought the twig moved as we came along. Let's go back and see," said Rag. "Oh, all right," said Bobtail. "It's pointing that way." "Well, I don't see any water," said Bobtail. But they went the way the twig was pointing. Tag could feel the twig moving in his paws. "It must be somewhere here," he said. And they began to scrabble about. And just then, there was the water. It was a spring of water. Near it was an old log that had split in half, and some of the water had spilled into that. And when Bobtail saw the spring, he said, "Oh, good! Now we can bath the babies." While Rag, Tag, and Bobtail had been finding the clean water, the babies had made the most wonderful mud pie with mud and sticks and stones. You couldn't tell which was mud pie and which was babies. When they saw Bobtail coming, they hopped up to him to show him their dirty paws and their black, sticky faces. They made him come and look at their mud pie. Now that Bobtail knew about the bath, he didn't mind how dirty the babies were. "Yes, it's lovely," he said to them. "But you come along now and see the nice bath I've got ready for you." The babies followed him along the path until they came back to the log. As soon as the bath was full, Rag and Tag had stopped the spring bubbling up with a pine cone. And when the babies saw the water, they all wanted to be the first to jump in. It was just as much fun as the mud puddle. Tag began to scrub the babies to get the mud off. "They'll be very wet when they come out," said Rag. "I'd better get something to dry them." So Rag and Bobtail went off to look for some nice big leaves to use as towels. They couldn't find any straight away, and they looked everywhere. And then they remembered where they'd seen just the sort of leaves they wanted, beyond the mud pie. They each took a leaf and went back to the log. The babies were all clean again now, though they were very wet. Tag was a bit wet too. So he and the babies sat down in the sun, and Rag and Bobtail began to dry them. "Being wet is nice and cool on a hot day," said Tag. "Oh, is it? Then I'm going to get wet too," said Rag. And he splashed himself with water from the log. Then he too sat down with the others, and they looked at the babies. But one of them wasn't there. Where do you suppose he'd gone? That naughty little baby rabbit had gone back to the mud pie so that he could have the fun of getting muddy and having a bath all over again. Bobtail went to fetch him. But when he picked him up, the naughty baby was so tired he fell fast asleep in Bobtail's arms. And when Bobtail got back to the others, they were fast asleep too. "I won't bother to wash him now," said Bobtail. And in no time at all, Bobtail and the naughty baby were fast asleep too. Goodbye, Bobtail. Goodbye, Rag. Goodbye, Tag. Goodbye, baby rabbits.
This is a story about the Wooden Tops. There was Mummy Wooden Top and the baby, and Daddy Wooden Top. Then there were Willie and Jenny the twins, and Mrs. Scrubbit, who comes to help Mummy Wooden Top, and Sam, who helps Daddy Wooden Top, and last of all, the very biggest spotty dog you ever did see. And they all lived together in a little house in the country. One morning, when Mummy Wooden Top was getting the dinner ready and busy doing the housework, she left Baby Wooden Top in the garden in his pram. She thought he was asleep, but when she looked out of the door, She saw he was busy throwing his blanket onto the ground. And there he was, banging on his pram and calling for Mummy to come and pick it up. But Mummy Woodentop had already picked it up over and over again. So she called out to him, "I can't come now, Baby Woodentop. I'm busy. So you must be a good boy, and I'll come out as soon as I can." Now, although Baby Woodentop couldn't talk, he knew quite well what Mummy Woodentop meant. So he bounced up and down in his pram and shouted at the top of his voice. When he saw that Mummy Woodentop wasn't coming out, he got tired of shouting and leaned over the pram to see if he could reach the blanket himself. And when Mummy Woodentop saw that, she thought he might fall over. So out she came to put his blanket back. And she said, "There you are. Now don't throw it out any more. There's a good boy." When she'd made sure that he was properly strapped in, she went back into the house. And as soon as she'd gone in, Baby Woodentop began to throw his blanket out all over again. But Mummy Woodentop didn't come, so he began to cry louder. Then Mummy Woodentop thought perhaps there was something wrong. So she came running out, and she said, "What's the matter now? What's all this noise about? Let me have a look. I don't believe there's anything the matter at all." And of course there was nothing the matter with him. He only wanted to have his blanket picked up. So Mummy Woodentop settled him down again, and then she said, "Now that's the very last time I'm going to pick up your blanket, so it's no good you're throwing it out any more. Do you hear that, young man?" And in she went. As soon as she'd gone, he threw it out again. And he was just going to call out when he heard footsteps. He looked over to the gate, and there were his brother and sister, Willie and Jenny. Now, you know that Willie and Jenny are twins, don't you? And that they are exactly alike. Sometimes they play at doing things exactly alike. You know, doing everything together. If Mummy Woodentop asks them to sit down, they do this. Both together. And if she wants them to stand up, they do this.
Both together.
And when they go for a walk, they go like this.
Both together.
And when they stop like this.
Both together.
And when they talk, they very often talk like this.
Oh, look at Baby. Look what he's done. He's thrown his blanket out. He's always throwing things out of his pram.
Babies always do. I expect you did when you were a baby.
Ha ha!
And Mummy Woodentop said, "Yes, you did." And she picked up the blanket. Then she said, "Bring Baby in, will you, children? You can go out again after." So they took hold of the pram like this, both together, and pushed it right into the house.
Push the pram, both together, both together.
Let's look round the garden while the children are indoors. This is where they play, isn't it? And just there, behind the fence, is someone they know very well. You know who it is, don't you? It's the wooden-top Spotty dog. Look, he knows we're talking about him. He's a very kind dog. And he's a very funny dog. And a very happy dog. And he's a very clever dog. There's some words he knows quite well. He knows biscuit. And he knows bones. And he knows bath. He doesn't like having a bath. As soon as he hears someone say bath, he runs away and hides. It's all right, Spotty dog. You're not going to have a bath. Don't be afraid. Let's try him with the words again. And you say them this time. You say biscuit. Bones. Bath. It's all right, Spotty dog. No bath today. Now, Spotty dog loves Daddy Woodentop. And as soon as he hears him coming, he jumps up and down and barks and gets very excited and rushes off to meet him. And I think Daddy Woodentop must be coming now, because look at Spotty. Yes, here comes Daddy Woodentop.
There you are, old fellow. Pleased to see you, master? Oh, there's a good dog. Down, boy, down. Oh, dear. I'm rather tired. I've been working all the morning in the turnip field. Think I'll just have a rest. Yes, I'll wait here until Mummy Woodentop calls me for dinner. Are the children home? Oh, they are. Has the baby been good? Not good. Oh, dear. I'm sorry to hear that. Look what I found when I was digging this morning. One of your old bones. Oh, don't you go hiding your old bones in my turnips anymore. You don't deserve to have it, you old rascal. But here you are now. There. There's your dinner. Oh, soon be time for mine. Here. What's happened to those flowers, Spotty? Have you been playing on them? Oh, Spotty. Oh, it's no use. I can't be angry with you.
Let's leave Daddy Woodentop in the garden and go and see what Mummy Woodentop's doing in the house. There she is at her kitchen stove, looking to see if the potatoes were cooked and the meat was done. She'd finished laying the table, and she was making sure that everything was ready. She was just thinking that Daddy Woodentop would soon be home when she saw him.
Hello, Mummy Woodentop. I'm back.
Hello, Daddy Woodentop. You're nice and early today.
Well, how are the children?
Oh, they're all right. And how are the turnips?
Oh, they're not too bad. Hello, young fella. I hear you've been a bad boy. Oh, no, you don't, young man. Now, you sit still and be a good boy while I wash my hands. You behave yourself, young fellow.
Mummy Woodentop bustled about the kitchen, and while she was doing her work, she hummed a little tune. Now everything was ready. Mummy Woodentop stopped for a moment to speak to Baby, who was bouncing up and down his chair because he wanted his dinner. So she said, "It's all right, it's coming in a moment." And then she called out to the twins, Children, have you washed your hands?
No, Mummy wouldn't. Not yet.
No, we haven't, Mummy.
Well, come in and do it then.
Yes, Mummy.
Coming.
Oh, up we get. Oh, I can't find the soup. Have you got it?
No, I haven't. Oh, here it is.
Oh, good. Oh, I am hungry.
So am I.
We're very hungry. I wonder what we've got for dinner today.
Hey!
Ha! No, soda. What have we got for dinner today? For dinner today.
Nothing for you but sawdust and hay. Sawdust and hay for dinner today.
Nothing for you but sawdust and hay. Sawdust and hay for dinner today.
What have we got for dinner today? For dinner today. Nothing for you but
sawdust and hay. Sawdust and hay for dinner today.
What have you got
for dinner today? For dinner today. Nothing for you but sawdust and hay. Sawdust and hay for dinner today. You have the sawdust, I'll have the hay.
I don't mind having the sawdust.
You can't eat sawdust.
You can't eat hay.
Come and sit down now, children.
Oh, what have we got for dinner today? For dinner today. Oh.
I haven't got enough room.
Yes, you have. Move up a bit.
Push me.
Settle down now. I'm going to call Daddy. Are you ready, Daddy Woodentop?
Yes, I'm coming.
For dinner.
Well, children, are you ready for your dinner?
Yes, Daddy.
Yes, we are. We're very hungry.
So am I. What have we got for dinner today, Mummy Woodentop?
Sawdust and hay! Sawdust and hay!
No, we can't have all that noise. Sawdust and hay? Whatever next?
Then Mummy Woodentop began to serve the dinner, and everybody settled down to enjoy it. And there we must leave them until next time. Goodbye, Woodentops. Goodbye.